Hello everyone, welcome back to YT Classroom. I hope you all are doing well. So after a long time, we are back to solving IGCSE papers, and today we'll be starting with IGCSE Mathematics 0580, paper 22 from October-November 2024. This is one of the most recent papers, and I wish the best of luck to all of you guys who are preparing for the Feb March and the May June series with the new syllabus for mathematics, which has non-calculated paper 2 as well as a 100 marks paper 4. So I hope you're preparing well for that, and I hope this video does help you in that preparation. All right, let's get along with this, start with this paper. So this paper is 1 hour 30 minutes and it's of 70 marks, and you can use calculators in this paper. However, I will try to avoid to use calculator except for in certain questions so that you guys can get the practice of using without the calculators. All right, so let's get started with this paper. Now the first question says, these are 8 terms of a sequence. Find the values of C and find the values of K. Find the value of C and value of K, I mean. Okay, now if you see in this sequence, the terms are related by the pattern, which is -6. So as you move from -3 to -9, you subtract -6, again subtraction -6, again subtraction of -6. That means that if you want to find the value of K, -33 minus 6, please do not use your calculator. So -33 minus 6 is basically going to be -39. So that's the value of K, -39. All right, what about this value? So we know that the value of C minus 6 is equivalent of 3. And if you apply the inverse logic, C is going to be -3 plus 6, which makes it C is equivalent of 3. So therefore, we get the value of C as 3 and the value of K as -9. The first question is complete. Now let's move on to the second question. It says the diagram shows an isosceles triangle. Find the value of K. Now, what does an isosceles triangle mean? An isosceles triangle is a triangle where the base angles of the triangle are equal. So in this case, this angle would be 43. As we know that the sum of the triangles in the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180. In order to find x, what we do is 180 minus 43 plus 43. So what does that give you? 180 of 43, I meant. Yeah, 43. So what does that give you? 180 minus 86, not using the calculator. That would be equivalent of 94. 94 degrees. All right, now we'll move on to question number 3. So question number 3 says complete each statement with a number from the list. First of all, it asks us to take a natural number. So as we can see, the natural number in this list is only 24 because that's the only whole number and a positive number that we have got. So 24 is a natural number. Dash is an irrational number. Irrational number would be basically root 3 because it's non-recurring, and when you calculate root 3 on your calculator, you would get a value which is not recurring, that means not repeating, neither it is terminated, that's not ending. The reciprocal of 4. The reciprocal of any number is basically 1 over that number. So 1 over 4, do we have 1 over 4? We have -1 over 4, and this is equivalent of 0.25. We have 0.25, which on the list, so we're just going to use 0.25. And there we go. This is question number 3 being done. Now we'll move on to question number 4. It says that scatter diagram shows the number of rooms and people in each of the 8 buildings. Okay. One of the buildings has 67 rooms. Write down the number of people in this building. So in a certain building, we have 67 rooms. Check the axis carefully. 67 is on this side, so 62, 64, 66, and 67. Obviously with this arrow. So on this, how many people are there? So we just take down this reading, go all the way down, and then we find that this is equivalent of 76. So the 4A part would be 76. The next question says, in another building, there are 42 people and 33 rooms. You have to point this plot. So 42 people and how many rooms? 33. So 42 as well as 32 and 33. This would be somewhere here. Okay. Then it says that you draw a line of best fit. So I'm going to erase these small marks because they are not anymore relevant. Okay, I'm going to take my ruler and draw a straight line. I draw a straight line which passes through its maximum number of points. Yeah. Yeah, so indeed this would be the straight line, or would it be this? Yeah, this one would be a better one. So if you take this, it goes all the way up here. How many points above? Approximately 3, 1, this one, second this one, and third this one, And if you check how many points below the axis, it's 1, 2, and 3. Although the 2 points are really close. Okay, just going to erase the part that is out of this because we want to be inside it, and that's how the line of best fit is going to look like. Then it says there are 45 people in different building. Write an estimate for the number of rooms in this building. Okay, so if you have 45 people, 42 would be here, 44 is here, so 45 is here, somewhere here. And if I'm checking 45 on my curve, it would be like this. So I'm going to say that there are 29 people. Now, obviously, this curve might vary for you guys, and there's a certain range of answers accepted. If you want to check your answer, please use a marking scheme in this case. Which type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? In this scatter diagram, we can see that the values are rising upwards, so therefore there's a positive correlation. Positive, positive. All right, now we move on to the next question. It says that convert 7.51 meters square into centimeters square. Now, first of all, you're going to understand that how do you convert meters to centimeters is basically that you multiply it by 100. So in order to convert meters square to centimeters square, you would multiply it with 100 squared. And that applies to any division or multiplication where units are being converted. You just raise to the power. So we're going to do 7.51 into 100 squared. That is equivalent of 7.51 into 100 and add two more zeros. So that would be equivalent of 7. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So 751. We add two more zeros. 75100. 75,100. This would be the value. Alright, now we're moving on. I hope this is clear, and I hope all the questions till now have been clear. The diagram shows a trapezium. The area of the trapezium is 42. Write down the value of x. Now, first of all, you've got to remember what is the equation for the area of trapezium. The equation is 1 by 2 a plus b times h, where a plus b are the parallel sides of a trapezium. So if you draw a trapezium, it looks like this, and maybe it looks like this. So this is your a, this is your b, the height is here h. So in this case, the trapezium has been rotated. So we can say that x plus 9.5 are the a and b values. So what you're going to say is half into x plus 9.5 is into the height. The height is 6 into 6 is equivalent of 42. So we can say that x plus 9.5, and what is half into 6 is going to be 3, is equivalent to 42. So x plus 9.5 should be equivalent of 42 divided by 3, that is equivalent of 14, because 14, 28, 42. So x is going to be 14 minus 9.5, which is equivalent of 4.5. So therefore you get x as 4.5 without using the calculator. Alright, now we move on to the next question. It says that without using a calculator here, you work out this. 2 over 7 divided by 6 over 11. So in order to get this, what you do is you take 2 over 7 and you reciprocate the other fraction. That means that it goes 11 over 6 rather than 2 over 7. So when you multiply that, you get 22 because you just simply multiply 2 into 11 is 22, 7 into 6 is 42. So if you now simplify, 22 is an even number, so you can write 11, and 42 is going to be 21. So your answer should be 11 over 21. All right, I hope that's clear. 11 over 21. Now here it says the diagram shows a parallelogram. Work out the sides of the smallest interior angle of this parallelogram. Okay, so first of all, we can see that we have two pairs of parallel lines, that means this line and these lines. They both are parallel, and therefore the property of co-interior angles. That means the two angles in a parallel line combination would add up to 180 degrees. This will help us to find x. So 132 minus 2x plus 15 plus 5x should equal to 180. This is a property that you have learned. So you're going to say that 132 plus 15, 147, minus 2 plus 5 is going to be 3x, is equivalent to 180. So in this case, 3x is going to be, I believe, 53. 3x is going to be, wait, 180, just confirming my answer, 180 minus 147 is going to be 33. Yeah. So x is going to be 11. Now when x is 11, what is going to be this angle? 132 minus 2 times 11 is going to be 110. So this angle would be 110 and this angle would be 70. Also, if you applied the properties of a parallelogram, you would know that The opposite angles are equal, so 110, this would be 70, and this one would be 110. Alright, so once you found the value of x, you're going to show that 132 minus 2 times 11 is equivalent to 110, and 15 plus 5 times 11 is equivalent of 70. So the smallest interior angle is basically going to be 70, and this is a 4-mark question, so make sure you show your working. Now we move on to question number 9. It says that the points ABCD, they are lying on a circle. ABCD is a square with an area of 72 centimeters square. Write down, calculate the area of the circle. So in order to calculate the area of the circle, what we need is the radius, and radius can be calculated in diameter. So if I check this point, that is the point, the line, this is going to be dB, right? So dB, if I can get the length of dB, so half of that will be the radius, and then I can work out the area. But how can I get the length of dB? Now remember, this is a square and it's an area of 72, but I don't know the length of the sides. So I can say that the length of the sides would be 70 root of 72 and root of 72 as well. Now let me show you why this works. Imagine that the area of the square is 4, so we can say that 2 into 2 is equivalent to 4. So 2 can be written as root of 4 into root of 4 is equivalent to 4, right? So that's what I'm going to say, that the length is root 72 into root 72 is equivalent to this, which is the length BD. So now how will I get the length BD? That's the question. So I can apply Pythagoras theorem, that is root 72 square plus root 72 square will give me c square. A square plus b square is c square. Use a calculator now. Root 72 square plus root 72 square. So c square is 144. So obviously c is going to be 12. Now remember, this c is the diameter value. So the radius is going to be 12 over 2, which is going to be 6. And then what we do is pi into r square. So pi into 6 square, and that is going to be 36 pi. And I hope this is clear. The answer is going to be 36 pi. Now in this question, it's a 1-mark question, just requiring the simplest of the calculator. 1 plus 10.9 into 0.4 square. Simply enter in your calculator 1 plus 10.9 into 0.4 square cube root. What you'd get is 1.4, the exact answer. Just write it down here, 1.4. Easy question. Now move on to the next question. Factorize fully. 24x squared minus 9xy. So when I say factorize, we're trying to find something common in this. So we can see that 24 and 9, they both are multiples of 3. So let's take 3 out. And we also have x, which is common. So we're going to take x out. Now what do I need to multiply 3x with to get 24x squared? I need to multiply it with 8x, right? Because 3 into 8 is 24, x into x is x squared. Minus 3 into 3 would give me 9. And if I subtract this, it will give me y. I cannot remove anything more now, so this is going to be my simplified form. 3x into 8x minus 3y. 3x into 8x minus 3y. Moving on to the next question, we have 63x squared minus 28y squared. At a first glance, I can see that I don't have y in the first one or x in the second one, so no xy removing. But I can see that 63 and 28, they both are multiples of 7. So I can write this as 7, 9x squared minus 4 into y squared, because 7 into 9 is 63 and 7 into 4 is 28. Now I know that 9 and 4, they both are complete squares, perfect squares. So this can be written as 9, the square root of 9 is 3, so 3x plus 2y and 3x minus 2y. Now this is allowed, this is a property which says that a square minus b square is same as a plus b into a minus b. And this is a pretty useful property. It should also help you in AS mathematics. So this is how you're going to write it down. This is the simplest form, or the factorized form. 7 into 3x plus 2y into 3x minus 2y. 3x plus 2y, 3x minus 2y. Moving on to the next question, it says that y is directly proportional to the square root of x plus 1. So we have y is proportional to the square root, be careful with that, x plus 1. So we can say that y over square root of x plus 1 would basically be a constant. Now we have to find the value of this constant, right? So y is going to be 10.5, and over the root of 8 plus 1 is going to be 9, and root of 9 is 3. So what I'm going to do is 10.5 divided by 3, which gives me 3.5. So I know that the value of k is going to be 3.5. Now what they're asking us is that find y when x is 156. So I can simply say that y is going to be k into root of x plus 1, where x plus 1 is in brackets. So I have 3.5 into the root of x plus 1. So 1.56 plus 1. Calculator, 3.5 into root of 1.56 plus 1. That will give me 5.6. And that's the correct answer. 5.6. 5.6. I hope this part is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Now here it says it's a shading question. By drawing suitable straight lines and shading the unwanted regions, you have to find and label the region R. And the region R is going to satisfy these both inequalities, that y is greater than negative 3, but y is less than or equal to 2, y is less than x minus 1. Now take the first one. It says that the y is basically greater than negative 3, but there's no, it's not this sign. This means that we have to use, it's not an equality, it's just, the greater than or lesser than without an equal symbol. That means it is a broken line and between negative 3. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a broken line using one of the tools in this app. Okay, we're going to take a ruler and we're going to draw a line at negative 3. Okay, so when you take a draw a line at negative 3, it's going to look somewhat like this. And we have to shade the region below. So how does this shading the region below look like? If you just take this ball pen, yeah, okay, you're obviously going to shade properly with the pencil. I'm just using this tool. So in this case, we have removed the unwanted region where y is less than negative 3, because we are said that y is greater than negative 3. So y can't be less than negative 3. And now it says that y is less than or equal to 2. That means any region above 2 is also invalid. But now there's an equal symbol as well. So we're going to take a normal line, not a broken line. We're going to take something like this. And then what you're going to put is above, you're going to shade it out. I hope you have clear why I've done this, because it says that y lies between negative 3 and 2. It can't be equal to negative 3. That's why it's a broken line. That means that it can't be negative 3. But it can be equivalent of 2. That's why it's a straight line. That means y can be 2. But anything above 2 or less than negative 3, it's invalid. Now let's take the second equation. Y is equivalent of x minus 1. When you're drawing a line like this, which is not a straight line, I mean, it is a straight line, but then it's not horizontal. You're going to say y is less than x minus 1. The gradient is x and the y-intercept is negative 1. So I'm going to put a point here. And if you are not sure about how to draw a graph, just take one more point. One point is here because y-intercept. Other point, let's say I'm taking x as 3. So 3 minus 1. So that's going to be 2. So 3, when it's 3, it's 2. So you take something like this and then you just connect them together with a straight line. Okay, connect them together with a straight line. We know that it's only going to lie between these two regions, but you can extend to other regions as well. Now we are unsure whether to take this region or this region. But it says that y is less than. That means that the below region would be satisfying. That means the above region is invalid. You shade this region and the below region would be the region where it satisfies the inequality. That's the region R. Okay, you don't count this region because this region was already done. Yeah, and we got to label it R. I hope this question is clear and you should practice these questions because they are often repeated in paper 2 as well as paper 4. Now we're moving on to question number 14. Yes, question number 14. The diagram shows a speed time graph of 17 seconds of a car journey. Find the acceleration of the car during the first 10 seconds. Acceleration is given by the change in speed over time. Now, how much is the speed change in 10 seconds? It went from 0 to 20. That means the change in speed is 20. The time period is going to be 10. So the acceleration is obviously 2.0, 2.0 or just 2 meters per second raised to negative 2. Calculate the total distance traveled by the car during the 17 seconds. The total distance, if on a speed time graph, is going to be the area under the graph. So for that, I'm going to take A and B, where A is a triangle and B is basically a rectangle. So for the triangle, it's going to be half into 10 into 20. I hope you're clear why I've done that. Half into 10 into 20. Plus for the part B, we're going to do, because now this is 10 into 70, that means it's 7. And the height is 20 again, so 7 into 20. 7 into 20. Now you can, 20 into 10 is 200, half is 100. 7 into 20 is basically 140. When you add them up, you would get 240 meters. 240 meters. And that's the correct answer. 14A and 14B are done. Now let's move on to 15. It said that at the start of an experiment, there are 40,000 bacteria, and the number of bacteria increases at a rate of 15% per hour. Calculate the number of bacteria after 3 hours. So what you do is 40,000 1 plus, now 15% can be written as 15 over 100 because percent is always out of 100, raised to 3, which is the hour duration. Simply put this in your calculator: 40,001 plus 15 over 100 raised to 3. That will give you 60,835. Alright, so that is going to be the number of bacteria after that. 60,835. Now we'll move on to the next question. It says that 75 people are asked if they have a car, which is C, if they have a job, J. The Venn diagram shows the result. So it shows that 9 people, they only have a car, 13 people, they only have a job, 51 people, they have car and job both, and there are 2 people who do not have a car and do not have a job. A person is chosen randomly from those who have a car. Now, when they say the person chooses randomly from those who have a car, they're only selecting people from this region, the highlighted region. Okay, so what is the total people here? 51 plus 9, which is 60. Find the probability that the person also has a job. Now, out of these 60 people, how many people have a job? Only 51 people. This 51 suggests they're in both categories. So we have 51 people who have a job and a car out of a total of 60 people in the category of cars. So 51 out of 60 would be our answer. And I hope this is clear. Now we are moving to question number 17. Question number 17 says that A, B, C are points. We have points A, B, C, which is the circumference of a circle with the center O. DA and DC are tangents to the circle. Angle ABC is going to be 64 degrees. Work out the value of x. So we have to find this angle x. Now, first of all, we know that OA is basically a radius and DA is a tangent. So obviously this angle is going to be 90 degrees. This is a property. So is the same thing for DC and OC. So again, this is angle also going to 90 degrees. In order to find the angle AOC, we can use the property that the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So the angle of the circumference is 64, although it's far away, we can still apply this property. So 64 multiplied by 2 would be 128. So this angle is going to be 128. Now, we know that the angle of sum in a quadrilateral is 360. So we're going to take 360 minus, what is this, 90? This is going to be 90. The other one is also going to be 90. And this is going to be 128. Okay, so 360 minus 90 plus 90 plus 128 is going to be 52 degrees. You can do this without the calculator as well. It's a simple addition and subtraction. So 52 degrees. Again, I'm just going to explain it. The angle at the center, it's twice the angle circumference. The circumference angle is 64, the obelisk is going to be 128. And wherever a radius and a tangent meet, that's going to be 90, 90, 128. So x is going to be 52 degrees. I hope that's clear. Now we have to put there's four values here: 8 into 10 raised to negative 1, 0.8 with a recurring 0.8, 8%, and root of 0.08. It says that you sort these out into these values. Now, first of all, 8 into 10 raised to negative 1 is basically going to be 0.8. And where do you think 0.8 belongs? Can it go in A? No, because it says that the A, no, yeah, wait. So the first value, this is equivalent of 0.8. Will it belong to A? Yes, because equivalent to 0.8. Will it belong to B? Yes, because equal to 0.8. So therefore, 8 into 10 raised to negative 1 would belong in both categories. I hope that's clear. The second one, 0.88888, because that's what the dot suggests. So 0.888, it's greater than 0.8, so obviously it can't belong to A, but it's greater than 0.8, so therefore it will belong to B. So we're going to say 0.8 recurring would be here. 8%. 8% is basically going to be equivalent of 0.08. So 0.08 is basically, it's not going to be in the A category because A category is only for those which are greater than 0.08. 0.08 itself can't be there. And B is only for those which are greater than 0.8. So obviously 8% does not belong to either of those categories, so it's out. Then root of 0.08, that's equivalent of 0.28 if you just take the first two decimal places. So 0.28, that is greater than 0.08 and it's less than 0.8. but so it would fall in A, but it will not fall in B because B says only 0.8 greater than 0.8. 0.28 is not greater than 0.8. Therefore, it would go in A, that is root of 0.08. Again, just simple calculations, just be a bit careful about where it can apply in both of them or in neither of them, and you would get your answer. And do not assume that one of the all of the columns will be filled. One of the columns can be empty. All right. Now, next question is a shading question, classic question. A union C intersection B naught. Now, whenever I have these types of questions, what I do is I draw two of these on a rough sketch nearby them, one as well as another one, which is two. And I'm going to draw again the same type of circles, all this rough diagram, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now, how would you shade A union C? This is A, this is B, this is C, A, B, and C. A union C is basically going to be the entire A and the entire C, right? Because A union C. And what about B naught? B naught is basically going to be this category. Like, except for B, everything outside and outside B is going to be shaded. Now they're asking us that what is common between A union C and B naught? As we see, the only part common is basically A and C without the B part. So which I can show here. That means this part, yeah, and that's it. Because there are this part of it, like this part, and this part, they all belong to B. So therefore we cannot show them because it's B naught. And A union C we have shown it, and that's how we shade. Shading questions are pretty easy just to have a bit of practice on those. Now we move on to question number 19, which says that a solid is made from a cylinder and a hemisphere, both of radius 4.3. So we have a cylinder which is contained in a hemisphere. The cylinder has a length of 11.9. Find the volume of the solid. To find the volume of the solid, what we do is we split this up into a hemisphere and a cylinder. To find the volume of a cylinder, what you do is pi r square, that means the area of the base, into the height. And for the hemisphere, we have the formula here, which is 4 by 3 into pi into r cube. But since it's a hemisphere, the formula is for a sphere, we have to always ensure that we multiply by half, because a hemisphere is like a half of a sphere. Now we simply take the values, pi into the radius of the cylinder, that's 4.3 squared, into the height, which is 11.9, plus you're going to do 4.3 into pi into r cubed of the hemisphere, which is 4.3 cubed into half. Now you simply take your calculator in this, pi into 4.3 squared into 11.9 plus 4.3 into pi into 4.3 cubed into half, yeah, and therefore you would get 857.7668446, which you can round it off to 858. 858 is your final answer, 858 centimeter cubed. The next question says calculate the total surface area of the solid. Surface area basically means the area on the outside. So that will include the outside area of the cylinder, the bottom of the cylinder, as well as the surface area of the hemisphere. So first of all, I'm going to find the area around the cylinder. In order to find the area around the cylinder, what I would do is I multiply the circumference of the cylinder with the height, length, or the height of the cylinder. Just imagine it's a net. So when it opens up this rectangle, where one of the values will be the circumference and the other values would be the height. So what I would do is I'm going to do 11.9 into 2 into pi into 4.3. 2 by 4.3 give me the circumference, into 11.9 gives me the surface area. But there's also a bottom of the cylinder. So what I'm going to do is pi into 4.3 pi r square, so 4.3 square, plus for the hemisphere, the sphere, the formula is given as 4 pi r square. Again, you have to multiply it by half because the hemisphere 4 into pi, and the radius is basically going to be equivalent to 4.3 square. Now you simply add them up. So 11.9 into 2 pi into 4.3 plus pi into 4.3 square, no, pi into 4.3 square plus half into 4 pi into 4.3 square, right? 4.3 square. All right, what does that give us? That gives us basically 495.7747367, which can be rounded out to 496. I'm going to explain this just for a verbal explanation. In order to calculate the volume of the cylinder plus the volume of the hemisphere. For cylinder, we just use the surface area into the height, and with the hemisphere, you divide this formula which is given divided by 2. For the total surface area, what you do is the surface area on the outside of the cylinder plus the surface area of the base of the cylinder plus half of the surface area of the hemisphere. And just add them up, apply the values correctly. But this 4.3 square, it's only going to apply inside on pi r squared, not the whole thing. And that's how you get the correct answer. Now we'll move on to question number 20. Question number 20 says find an expression for the nth term of the sequence. 1 over 7, 1, 7, 49, 343, 2, 4 over 1. So you can see that all of the terms are somehow a power of 7 because they're multiplying with 7. So in this case, this is 7 raised to power negative 2. No, 7 raised to power of negative 1. 7 raised to power negative 1. This is 7 raised to power 0. This is 7 raised to power 1. But the terms, this is the first term, this is the second term, and this is the third term. And this is the fourth term, this is 7 raised to 2. So if you see the relation between the position that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and the powers of 7, the negative 1, 0, 1, 2, you can see that if I do 4 minus 2, it will give me 2, 3 minus 2, it will give me 1, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So can I say that 7 raised to whatever the n value is, you subtract that with 2, where n corresponds to the, what is the term? If it's a fourth term, it will be n raised 4 minus 2. Now we check it. 7 raised to 1 minus 2 is negative 1. 7 raised to 1 is 1 over 7. 7 raised to 2 minus 2, which is 0, is going to be 1. 7 raised to 3 minus 2 is 7 raised to 1, which is 7. 7 raised to 4 minus 2 is 2, which is 49. This formula works, and therefore you have to use this. So just apply a bit of logic and you would get it. Obviously, through practice, this becomes much more easier. Now here it says expand and simplify. Now whenever I see a term with expansion with a 2x and 1, what I would do is I would keep x plus 3 into side and start expanding the first part. There are other two ones on the right. Here. So what is x into 2x gives me 2x square. What is x into 1 gives me x. What is 5 into 2x is 10x, and 5 into 1 is 5. Alright. Then when I multiply, I want to simplify this first. So 2x square plus 11x plus 5. After that, what I do is I multiply this with this. So x into 2x squared will be 2x cubed. X into 11x would be 11x squared. X into 5 will be 5x. 3 into 2x squared is 6x squared. 3 into 11x is 33x. And 3 into 5 is 15. So what is going to happen is 2x cubed plus 17x squared plus 38x plus 15. Just have to add up the terms which are common. When we add up the terms, this is what you're going to get. Just write the final expression 2x cubed plus 17x squared plus 38x plus 15. And I hope this part is clear as well. Now we'll move on to the next part. Next part says, oh wait, okay. So yeah, now it says that we have 2 points are given. You define the perpendicular bisector of the line AB. So you have to find the line AB and what is the perpendicular bisector, the equation of that line. Now always to find the perpendicular bisector, first of all you find the midpoint. For the midpoint, what you do is 17 plus 23, the x coordinates of both divided by 2, comma 9 plus 39 divided by 2. Now 17 plus 23 is obviously going to be 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Alright, and 9 plus 39 is going to be 48. Divided by 2 is 24. So I know that the perpendicular bisector should pass through this point. But for the perpendicular bisector, the equation of a line is y equals to mx plus c. I know the y value, I know the x value through which the line will pass. In order to find the m, now remember the gradient of this perpendicular bisector, which will be negative reciprocal of the line AB. So if I want to find the gradient of the line AB, I can just do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus s1. That is 39 minus 9 over 23 minus 17. I take the y values on the numerator, 39 minus 9, and I take the x values on the denominator, 23 minus 17. So that gives me 5. So the gradient of the AB line is 5, so the perpendicular line would be negative 1 over 5. Now if I just apply the y equals to mx plus c, the 24 is equivalent of negative 1 over 5 into 20 plus c. So in order to find c, I would do 24 plus 1 over 5 into 20. So c is going to be 28. All right, the equation therefore is y is equivalent of negative 1 by 5x plus 28. 28. 8. All right. Just explain this once again. First of all, you find the midpoints of both points because that's the point through which the perpendicular bisector would pass. Because perpendicular bisector means a line which cuts the line into half. Then you find the gradient of the line AB and we find the negative reciprocal of that. If it's negative, it will be positive, it's positive negative, and the reciprocal. Then 24, we will apply y, the y value is 24 equal to negative 1 by 5 into the x, which is 20 plus c. You find the value of c by doing 24 plus 1 by 5 into 20, simple algebra. And now you get y equals to negative 1 by 5x plus 28. Now I guess we move on to the last question, which is, it says that a small box is mathematically similar to a large box. The volume of the large box is 72.8% greater than the volume of the small box. The small box has a length 3.5 and the large box has a length of x centimeter. So we can say that obviously x cube over 3.5 cube is equivalent of the area of the larger one. No, I mean the volume of the larger one. Wait, the volume of the larger one over the volume of the smaller one. No, we don't need this. Sorry. Volume of the larger one over volume of the smaller one. So what I'm trying to signify here is, okay, the ratio. That is, okay, the length ratio should be equivalent to the volume ratio. And because volume is cube of length, we take power 3 of the length to get the volume. Now, but what is the area ratio of the volumes? It says 72.8% greater. That means, for example, if the small box has a volume of 100, the larger box would be 172.8 because it would have the 100% plus the 72.8% greater. So if I just use these values, I can use for my answer. X cube over 3.5 cube is equivalent of 172.8 over 100. You can take any values as long as they're 72.8% greater than each other. And once it's greater, you obviously have to apply 172.8% in order to find the final value from the initial value. So x can be greater than as cube root of 3.5 cube into 172.8 over 100. Cube root of 103.5 cube into 172.8 over 100. So in this case, it will equivalent of 4.2. X is equivalent of 4.2. All right, 4.2. I hope this is clear. Well, first you find the ratios, and then obviously if it's length to volume, it would be cubed. The length would be cubed. And by doing this question, we have reached the end of this paper, which has 23 questions. I'll be coming up with more videos, especially for the October-November 2024 papers as they're out, including Maths 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, Computer Science, Physics. And if you guys have any other doubts in this paper, please do post on the comments below. I'll try to help. Also, and if you have any other video suggestions or the papers that you'd like me to do, please do comment down below so that I'll try to make a video, and I hope that I can help you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more exciting and helpful content further on. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead and see you in the next video. Bye.